Hi, and welcome to the Terrace. I'm Caitlin Henry, former corporate buyer, chronic Pinterest scroller, and someone who has a furniture wish list that is way too long than she'd like to admit.
And I'm Sam Brooks, co-host, co-obsessor, and the person Caitlin calls when she needs to be talked into or out of a furniture purchase, usually in.
The Terrace is our corner of the internet where we talk about things that make us truly love our home or help us figure out how we desperately can love our home. We're going to talk all things design, trends, beautiful things, and the real decisions that you make when you want to make a space that you truly love.
Think less design lecture, more wine with your most design-obsessed friends. Pull up a chair.
Let's get into it. So first, I feel like we should introduce ourselves to the audience. I'll go first. My name is Caitlin Henry, and for the past 15 years, I've been a furniture buyer and product developer for some of the biggest retailers in the industry. Started my career at Urban Outfitters, which is where I met Sam, our co-host. And then I worked for other brands like Sutherland and Brown Jordan. And then I was most recently the head of the Anthropologie furniture buying team. Since left corporate America to start my own business. It's called Studio Terrace. It's a creative studio here in Philadelphia. And within Studio Terrace is The Terrace, our podcast where we talk all things design and beautiful and really have real conversations about what you do when you want to love your home.
We're so excited to be here. I'm Sam Brooks. I met Caitlin when I also started my career at Urban Outfitters as an assistant buyer in the furniture category. Since then, I've bopped around a little bit to mass retailers like Walmart, e-commerce retailers like Zulily, and also sprinkled in Marketplace a little bit. But I am now back at Urban Outfitters in the same place I started in the furniture world. And absolutely love talking about all things home decor. So really excited for us to have this place on the internet to talk about all of these things that we love, and we hope you love it too.
So let's get into it. So Sam, let's talk about how you developed a love for home decor and all things furniture and interiors. And then I want to hear a little bit about your personal style.
Yeah, so I actually really grew up on HGTV. My parents were, pretty strict about what we could watch. We couldn't watch SpongeBob or anything like that. So we really stuck to something educational. And that's how kind of my love for interior design was born, watching Flip It shows, watching all types of different stories about how people found their love of decor, watching how people really made their house a form of expression and their personality. And it got me super into doing it in my own home, I'm sure much to my parents' dismay. And doing those kind of projects led me to want to be an interior designer. But then my mom said, no, you need to get a business degree. And so then in college, I discovered what being a buyer is, which is basically picking out the products you see on the shelves. And I was able to marry that love of interior design with my love of shopping, which has been avid since I was young from my mom. And then kind of my love of interiors was born.
I love that. So my love of interiors started at a young age. So I grew up in Kansas. I grew up in a very rural town in Kansas. I grew up in Northwest Kansas, and I didn't have a lot of access to a lot of the trendy things that were going on in the world outside of what I could find in magazines, because this was like pre-internet. And so I remember going to the grocery store in my hometown. We have one grocery store in my hometown. And that was back when magazines were like everywhere. And There was like a wall of magazines. And that was kind of my portal into what was going on in the world in terms of fashion, home interiors, like 17 magazine, things like that. And I remember just begging my mom to get me Elle Decor, Country Living, House Beautiful, all of those magazines. And I would just pour over them. And it just kind of spiraled from there. I went to school for apparel merchandising, and that was amazing. But I went directly from my senior year of college to Urban Outfitters, and I just kind of landed in the home division. And I fell in love with furniture, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeking out the home division when I came to Urban, but I remember it being like with the other assistant buyers like, oh, like you're in home, like as if I didn't want to be there, or was like
Yeah.
wanted apparel and ended up in home. And I was like, nope, my mood boards and all of that was like 100% furniture, lighting, obsessed with lighting. So I was like, no, I'm actually exactly where I want to be. Like I've always just been obsessed with home.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We actually kind of do. Like hearing us talk about the magazines and the aspirational piece of it. And then it was kind of like on TV when you had like the look for less. We were seeing that and being like, how can we bring that into our homes, into our space?
Yeah.
And we are still doing that now.
No, it's a soulful job, in my opinion. I think helping someone figure out what their space looks like and be a place that they love to be and create connections and grow is a really rewarding experience. So we landed in the right place.
And I love that home decor sticks around for longer. You would invest in more pieces versus apparel. The trends are much faster. Trends have gotten so much faster in home, which I'm sure we'll talk about episode over episode. But a lot of times people are buying something that is going to stay in their space for at least 5 years. I think they say the average furniture cycle is like 7, but definitely like feels like it's something the customer like really needs to resonate with. They really need to love it. And so that's like part of why I've always loved furniture specifically.
Yeah, it's a very thoughtful product category.
Absolutely.
So, how would you describe your personal style?
So, I've gone through so many phases of my home style. I think most people have. When I started, back when I was 22, I was definitely more in this like modern feminine vibe. I had some color accents, but also like a lot of kind of the light Scandinavian wood. I would really bring in a lot of like color in my bedding and things like that. I loved something that felt like shiny and fun and really girly. And then when I moved in with my partner, which I think is really common, you kind of pull back your style to find something that's functional for both of you. And that's where I was actually moving to Seattle with my partner at the time. We got this very zen apartment that had a ton of natural light. And so then I really switched to this kind of like industrial Japandi inspired look, which I loved. And it kind of grew my love for like this kind of black and white high contrast. I love graphics in wall art and something that feels pretty modern, but I also wanted to bring in those like softer elements. But so now I would definitely call my style, I'm trademarking it right now, curated loft, which is I have a historical house, but I have a lot of modern contemporary furniture pieces. And then I really accent all of that out with different found vintage pieces. So almost like when you go into a gallery and everything's really modern, but your surroundings are pretty light, neutral, historical, but then what's showcased and the objects around feel a little more found. I love to like collect things from estate sales. I know we have that in common, but I've overall had a pretty modern, I think, personality, but I would love to develop into a sort of like Parisian modern as I continue to add more historical detail. I love all of the neutrals and softness, and then adding kind of like those elements through wall art, through other smaller decor pieces. So I'm in a moment of evolution as well.
Aren't we always?
Yes.
That's what I love about personal style. I think that there is no such thing as like your signature look. It's okay to be constantly evolving. And you touched on this earlier. It's important to kind of, I think, experience different phases of your personal style when it comes to your home. I would say my style has definitely evolved over the past 10 years. And it definitely evolved when I moved in with my partner. Right now, I would say my personal style is a Mediterranean maximalism with restraint. You heard it here first, but I have a deep love for print and pattern, and I have a deep love for things that feel organic. And I think that Mediterranean maximalism is the idea of taking a really organic home that has, a lot of exposed beams, a lot of natural elements to it, and combining that with luxe, textural fabrics and print and pattern. I think that for me creates like a really great cohesive feeling of warmth and also grounding. So that's where I am right now, but I have definitely gone through the stages of so many different styles, and honestly, everyone should.
Have you always loved print and pattern? Like me personally, I don't do a lot of print and pattern, obviously from how I just explained my home decor, but like when you say evolved, like do you think you've always had the print and pattern and now you're moving into this like maximalist?
I have fallen victim to millennial beige.
Everyone did a little. Don't beat yourself up about it.
Thank you so much. It was definitely a time in my life. I was just I think I was also going through a phase where I felt like I had a lot of internal noise. I was young, I was on the go all of the time, and I think I wanted a space that felt very serene and
Hmm.
just a big palate cleanser. And so yes, I've had homes that were just ivory, beige, maybe a little bit of texture. I always injected like a little bit of print and pattern here and there,
Hmm.
but I have definitely gone through phases where it's like print and pattern is at a minimum. But over the years, and especially as I traveled and I've stayed at some places that have been so incredibly inspiring to me that have been rooted in print and pattern, it just
Hmm.
kind of reawakened my love for it. And I've decided that it's here to stay.
Absolutely. I love it. So let's talk about where we're at in our homes right now. We're
Great
in
idea.
a little bit of a different place. Let's start with you,
Okay.
since we're obviously in Caitlin's home right now.
We're in our podcast studio, Caitlin's home. So, right now, I live in a rental. So, my partner and I live in a high rise here in Philadelphia. And it is a beautiful apartment. I really love it. It is quite modern. It's more modern than what I want long term, but it still has detail that I really admire. There are Juliet balconies. I have really large windows. It's very spacious, but for my personal style at the end of the day, it probably is a little too modern for me. And because we're renting, I am a little hesitant to do a lot of big changes, which I think we'll probably talk about later about like how you can update a rental. But right now, I'm kind of just working with what I have. And while I love our home and I love our space, it's definitely not our forever home. And so because of that, I'm not making like big updates or big renovations like I think you are.
I mean, big is like eventually, they'll be bigger than we've been doing right now. But I live out in the suburbs of Philadelphia, so about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside of the city. And I actually bought a house that was much older but newly renovated. So my house was built in 1904. And it has a lot of the original historical details. I love like we have really large molding above all of our doorways and windows, like big valances. And then we have some original hardwood, but then a lot of the house has been completely redone. So we have a new kitchen. The bathrooms are updated. So those types of things are great. And obviously it's a luxury to have them and not have to do all of that myself. But I found that when a lot of it got renovated, a lot of what made the house feel older is gone. People see my house from the outside or come in and they're like, oh, like they think it's brand new. And I'm like, no, I mean, this house is like 120 years old, and I want it to feel that way.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to kind of wanting to have that modern Parisian vibe and like go that route with my home decor styling. So we've done quite a few projects, but nothing that's been super impactful to go into that direction. We did refinish the hardwood. We've done some plaster. The kitchen we probably won't renovate because it is so new, but I definitely want to redo our upstairs bathroom. I'm definitely in that space and I'm making more permanent updates to my home, but I'm also not doing anything extremely dramatic. I mean, like you say one thing, but
So, what is something that you absolutely love about your home, and what is something that you find super challenging at the moment?
so, in terms of my house, the kitchen is definitely my sore spot. I love the modern appliances, but it's very much like subway tile. It has like basic granite countertops, kind of IKEA grade looking cabinets. It's all new, but it feels like it has no personality. And it feels like it doesn't really align with my personality. And I'm a huge cook. I love to cook. I love
Mhm.
to bake. I love to host as well. And so I want my kitchen to feel more like me. And so that's definitely something I'm struggling with. Like, how do I insert those elements into my kitchen without having things on the countertop because no one likes to have clutter in their kitchen, but also making it still a very functional space. What about you?
So, what I love about our apartment is also something that has caused me some dismay. So, it'll be kind of twofold. But what I love about our apartment is how big the windows are. So, in
Hmm.
every single room, there are basically floor to ceiling windows. And while I love that and I love the natural light it provides me, um, it's very modern still. The good thing about having these large modern window fixtures is that I now have an excuse to get custom curtains. So because we live in a rental and there's only so much updating that you can do, I have allowed myself to splurge on my custom curtains, and they're not here yet. They're on their way. But I think that has been a really fun exercise in using drapery as a form of adding personal style.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited to reveal those when it's time. But I will say, I did make a mistake, and I feel like our audience should learn from me and my mistake, which was I love like a very dramatic curtain. I love when a curtain like pools on the floor in a very dramatic way. Some might say a medieval way, but I did that at first and on these windows in our apartment. And because we live in such a modern setting and the rooms are spacious, but they're not huge, and our ceilings are typical height, which is like 10 feet. And so when I put up the drapes that have these very dramatic pools to them, it just did not feel right. There was a lot of tension between the modernity of this apartment and these like very, flowy heritage looking drapes. And also the drapes take up a lot of room when they pool a lot on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went ahead and paid to get them rehemmed to be shorter, which I love now. And I just know I'm going to have to save my dramatic curtain moment for when I have a home that fits that better and hopefully, arched ceilings that are vaulted and huge, and I can have my dramatic moment.
Yeah, I think I told you this, that I don't have any curtains in my house.
I know, Samantha.
It's very controversial, but since my house is so old, it's a lot of smaller rooms. Windows are all standard size, but then also I don't want the room to feel smaller. So that's why I don't have curtains. I do have like newer blinds, which are fine, but also the window valances and like the large molding that we have on the top of the window. It's like, do you hang them all the way at the top? Do you hang them over and then just have them wide? But that also could make the rooms feel smaller. So especially our primary bedroom is not very large. So I feel like that's one where we'll never really be able to accommodate curtains. On top of that, I have cast iron radiators. And guess where they are?
Underneath your windows.
Underneath my windows. And we actually...
That's a fire hazard, right?
Yes. We had one, it was an electric one underneath our windows in Seattle, and Mike burned out one of our comforters remaking the bed because he just threw it on the ground and didn't realize it was touching. So we had to be very careful, or you have to, then they can't go all the way to the floor. So it's like a whole thing. So like, it's not by exactly choice that I don't have curtains. I'm in a little bit of like a design hitch with them.
Yeah.
And I think everyone comes across these when you want something to work for you.
100%.
It's the same way trends in fashion, right? Like the sushi table goes around. You can't take everything. Not everything works for your own style. Not everything works for just what you have going on right now. So I think a lot of people can relate to that, even though I'm very jealous. And my next house, I'll make sure to have vaulted ceilings as well, because there's so many historic homes in the suburbs of Philadelphia with vaulted ceilings. Because now that I have a historic like home, like I probably wouldn't buy anything that was like before 1980. I don't know. I like love how old it is.
I know. I love an old home. You bring up another point that I think is really important for us to reinforce on this pod is that a beautiful home is built over time.
Yes.
And it's okay to have these design hitches and these kind of like hurdles because one, they're fun and you can learn from them and you can ask, the Terrace what you should do when you're having a design hiccup. But also it's okay to sit with it and it's okay to just build your home over time. That's what makes it special and feel curated and truly you.
Exactly. And you can redo things as many times as you want. I actually spent Friday night redoing, I have a built-in bookshelf, but it's really difficult because it's super deep. It's like 2.5 feet deep.
Yeah.
And then like each level is like 2 feet tall. Like it's super like difficult to style.
Yeah.
And so I've been going back and forth on this 6 months. And also let's talk about like the access to resources. Like how could I find someone to help me style this kind of awkward sizing bookshelf? You can look on Pinterest for things online. It all had to do with like establishing layers, working, probably 5-6 revisions, but now it really showcases my plates.
Oh, I bet it really shines.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture.
Good. I need to see a picture. And I have a question for you. Do you piddle around your apartment? Do you constantly find yourself like restyling things? Like I wake up in the morning and I all of a sudden get the urge to restyle my living room, or before I go to bed at night, I make sure everything is in its place. I put my entire apartment to bed before I go to bed so that I can wake up to what I think will be a perfectly styled apartment. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I have to redo all of this right now.
I mean, I'm obsessed with that. I love the idea of waking up to my apartment looking a little different, but I also do piddle around quite a bit. With this built-in bookshelf, I have a fireplace. So the mantle is somewhere you can have a lot of fun. You can do
Gorge.
a little seasonally. I also have a gallery style coffee table. So you know everything's getting
Yeah.
moved in
Oh,
there
yeah.
all the time. We're testing something out. I have like a bar island. And so there's 2 shelves there. So styling some of my kitchen stuff, my like Dutch oven. So yes.
Okay.
And I have a bookcase in my office. So extra yes.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
So this is a great segue into what we are coveting and what we're
Mhm.
loving right now, because I know it's always changing and there's so many great products out there. So Samantha, what are you coveting?
Let me start with a problem I'm having, and I actually want your take on it before, which is that I have refinished hardwood and it's like the natural kind of dark, like it's like antique pine because it's original to the house. But when you're shopping for new nightstands and dressers, it really can feel like with the dark wood, you can't really buy something that's completely dark wood
Yeah.
for your dressers and nightstands. I already have a fully upholstered bed, so that feels like really fresh in the room. And I have a Turkish rug that I'm absolutely obsessed with that I got in Turkey with my mom like 6 months ago. But I feel like I need something lighter for my nightstands and dresser, but then I also want something that's like real wood.
Yeah.
And I can't do light wood because it wouldn't really match the vibe.
Yeah.
So it needs to be dark wood, but I also think replacing something dark wood feels so heavy. Right now I don't have like forever like, you know, nightstands and dressers. They have like white drawer fronts. And I think they're like West Elmy looking, but they might even be from Target. But I like the dark wood, but like the white like really lifts them up and like makes them feel less dark. Right now I'm coveting the Green Row Darcy nightstands. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't even get me started on Green Row. I'm obsessed with everything
They
they're
were
doing right
just featured in Arch Digest. They did like how to make your bedroom dreamier.
Yep.
They are amazing. They're $900 each. Of course, the color, I wish they had more colors.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like kind of like a mauve inspired gray. Like it has like warm undertones.
Yep.
So I love them, but the gray is not right for me. I wish they came in like more cream color. Green Row, just did a little research. I didn't realize they're under like the Williams Sonoma umbrella.
They're WSI. Yep.
So I don't know, obsessed with everything they're doing. Their assortment's really small, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And obviously it's really expensive, but it's supposed to be like 100% sustainable, like all green manufacturing and things like that. And, you know, Williams Sonoma is actually going through those steps and probably not actually greenwashing it.
Yeah.
Like we see done all the time.
They have very strict like rules for their vendors. That I do know. I love that Green Row feels like the bohemian little sister of the WSI brands. But what I'm loving that they're doing are the sofa toppers.
Yes.
They have so many great little like mattress toppers for your sofas for people that have kids or have animals. And it's such a clever idea. And I'm obsessed.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about something that's a little different in our home situations is that I have a dog and Caitlin has a cat.
We do have 2 very different pet situations.
And I feel like it definitely impacts like the type of fabrication you choose for your sofa, how much you can invest in your rug, like all those types of things. My dog likes to chew like the corners of our rug.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, we could do probably a whole episode on what
really
fabrics we like for.
Because Cannoli, he really likes to scratch his little paws
Yes.
on really any textured fabric, which is kind of a problem for me. And I'm trying to live with it, but I also trying to figure out a way around it.
And I believe in investing in your sofa. I really do. Like besides your bed, you spend the most time on it. So it needs to be great. But then it's like your dog or cat is ruining it and you just spent a huge chunk of change.
I know.
All right. What are you coveting?
Okay. So I have 2 top of mind right now. And the first one, I have a visual aid for those watching. And
Not from behind the pillow.
I've been hiding my tassels behind.
We love them.
So I'm really into tassels right now. And I think that they are like such an easy way to add personality to your space. I have several of these tassels around my apartment. I have some that are hanging from drawer pulls. And I also have some that are like hooked up to like a key that I use for like a cabinet. And they are such a cheap way to add some personality into your apartment. I have bought some tassels that have been maybe like a mid-price point from, little stationery stores and things like that. But I also have some really great ones from Amazon. Like,
Not
I know.
Amazon.
I bought some from Etsy as well, so I feel like I've kind of like done the full circle. But my point is that there are tassels everywhere and you can get them at whatever price point you need. And it's a great way to infuse a little bit of personal style into your home.
I also love tassels. I got two for my sister for Christmas, and she loves them for like her door handles. I want to get them for mine too because I have like the original like crystal like looking
Yeah.
ones, and so I feel like they'll look so cute on them. It's one of those things where I need to like sneak it into my house a little bit because I feel like my husband's going to be like, why are there tassels on all of the doors? So I definitely need like inspiration from you to like kind of place them here and there. Like
Yeah.
not every door handle should
Yeah.
have them, but a drawer pull, a cabinet. I love that idea.
Yeah. Just a little sporadic
Mhm.
pizzazz, some razzle dazzle.
Love it. And yeah, they're like $20 on
Yeah.
Etsy.
Very affordable. So the other thing that I'm coveting is actually a tastemaker. And I want
Okay.
to bring her into the conversation because I think everyone should at least look at her page and her Substack. And it's an interior designer. Her name is Kristen Ellen Hockman. And I think she's a little underrated on social media. And she has she has a house in South Carolina and a very colorful POV when it comes to interiors. And she's also very into antiques and specifically Swedish antiques. And I just think she has such a beautiful style that is very inspiring. And she writes a Substack at least once a week. And she's the only Substacker that I have a paid subscription for.
Oh my gosh.
And I think I actually have 3 subscriptions to give away because I am a paid subscriber. So if you're listening and you want to be someone who is gifted a subscription to Kristen Ellen Hockman's Substack, leave a comment in the podcast or on Instagram. And if you get there quick enough, I will send you a free subscription.
I have only free on Substack. I won't lie. I don't pay for anyone's subscription.
Yeah. I mean, she's the only one I pay for. But totally worth it because she always shares like what she's sourcing, her great finds, and I really enjoy her interior POV.
Amazing.
What you need to give one more covet. I feel like the one is great, but I want to hear more.
Yes, because we actually should talk about canopy beds.
Oh my god.
Because I told you I went to our house
Yes.
this weekend. I broke my cardinal rule of going to King of Prussia on the weekend. I don't recommend it. It was a little crazy.
Sometimes it's unavoidable.
It really is. But they had completely redone the store, moved everything around. Now they have that like it's like extra tall. It's wood and then has velvet upholstering on the sides of the canopy and around the bottom.
Beautiful.
It is gorgeous. My ceilings aren't even tall enough for it. Like it is the most stunning piece of furniture. I love a canopy bed. I have a canopy bed at home in my guest room, but it's like a small little IKEA one, nothing special. Even though the guest room, like people love it and it's very vibey and cute.
Yeah.
And I love canopy beds because you can switch out the curtains all the time. Now, the one I have at home is one that has like basically curtain rod type things on the top. This one is so substantial. Like obviously you wouldn't have curtains on it.
Yeah.
But it was just the most gorgeous piece of furniture. Like I was like showing it to my husband. I was like, don't you think this is just stunning? And he was like, yeah, it's cool.
I mean,
which I was like, get out of my face.
But I have a bed canopy coming.
Yes, I know.
I have a bed canopy coming and I'm so excited about it. So it's called a half tester, which for those listening, a half tester canopy is kind of just a canopy that is only hanging from the head of your bed. And we'll splice in a picture so everybody knows what we're talking about. But it's a bed canopy that is from a Swedish curtain company that has been unbelievably helpful in helping me figure out how to make this work. I'm basically buying curtains at custom length that will go on ceiling tracks that are going to go at the top of my bed on the ceiling and then also on the sides of my bed. And I'm so excited for it. I will definitely talk more about this once I actually get it in the mail and I like DIY it up there. But this Swedish company is called Coveting. And they do custom curtains. They're kind of like the Swedish version of 2 Pages here in the US. But what I loved about my experience with them was that I was able to have like a one-on-one design consultation with one of their designers, and they were unbelievably helpful. I showed this woman what I was looking for, and she said, "Girl, leave this with me. Let's talk next week." We talked the following week. She has a full-on CAD all set for me. She has like a quote with everything I need to buy, and all I had to do was like click. And now I have a bed canopy on the way.
It's amazing what some people are doing in the industry. Like seriously, so impressive.
Yeah.
We gotta demand more.
I know. Also, I think we need to be asking for more because brands are willing to give more. And it's just about talking about the need, and the brands will solve the problem if you're loud enough.
And it's difficult to connect with the consumers. Like they don't even know. I mean, half the time we're always like, what does our customer want? I mean, buying is an educated guessing game.
100%.
Of course. But I don't know. I think our house, I will be purchasing something from them.
I'm
hopefully,
thrilled for you.
Hopefully the sideboard. I pretty much got my husband on board with their dark burlwood sideboard, Francis. So I might not be coveting it soon.
It'll be something you have.
I need to wait for a sale though. I need to wait for something serious.
Yeah. They're always running some sort of a sale.
They're not today. They weren't. But I spoke to the very nice man at the store too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you got your husband in here." I was like, "Excuse you. He's not the decision maker around here."
Well, I'm thrilled for you, and I can't wait for it to be in your home.
Yeah. I just can't wait to have extra storage for my plates.
Yes, your plates.
And well, also my sister for my birthday got me the most gorgeous ceramic bowl. It looks like radicchio leaves. It's from Italy, like handmade, and it is a stunning piece. And it's kind of like the centerpiece on my dining table at this moment. I had to take it off the shelves because it was arguing with my buffalo china set that needed to be displayed on the shelves. Just way I'm like kind of bringing a little more whimsy into that room. So I'm really loving it.
Whimsy.
I know. And it really brings out my Matisse print that I was telling you about. We should splice in a picture, actually.
We will.
But it was just such a special piece. And like, it's probably my favorite thing I've gotten in the last 6 months. Shout out to my sister, amazing gift giver. Can't wait to display my beautiful, strawberry feta salad for Easter.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't even know what that was a tangent to, but I went on it.
It can be a tangent around whimsy and how important it is in everyday life.
Exactly.
Not just your
bit
home,
of whimsy.
Everyday life. Okay, so I feel like we should do our Would You Rather round.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I have some fun ones. I've prepared a very special one for you.
Oh my gosh.
I'll go first. Okay. Would you rather have art you love in your home but clashes with everything, or have art that matches perfectly with everything but means nothing to you?
Unfortunately, I have to go with clashes. All of my wall art, like don't have any of it from like Home Goods or anything like that. I often like will use my wall art as a piece to start a room with. Like if it's something I really love, I love to go to concerts. And so every once in a while there's like a gorgeous concert poster. One of my favorite ones is from a Death Cab for Cutie concert. They did their hometown show in Seattle. And they did this like limited run of 50 posters, and it's like super fun. I like did the vibe of my whole office around it. It's really colorful and modern. And then I'm kind of doing the same thing with my Matisse print. But then in my living room, I have like these like graphic printed posters that I've collected from a few other concerts. So I don't know, like they don't necessarily clash, but at this point, but I think I would be willing to have them clash, or at least design around them so that they don't clash, because I love a story. I love saying something is from somewhere, or a talking point, if you will, especially since I love to host and get comments on things. I love a conversation starter.
I think when it comes to your home, you want things that have an emotional reaction, and you want things that mean things to you. And so I agree with you. You cannot compromise when it comes to things like art. You need to have things in your home that mean something and have a story. And it might just feel a little too lifeless to have a bunch of art that has no story and means nothing to you.
Exactly. And I need to be a little like, oh, you like this print? I bought it when I was in Barcelona. I can't help it,
On my travel.
Yeah, I love for it to be somewhere I traveled. I mean, my Matisse print is from literally like a thrift store in Missoula, Montana, that we were driving through when we drove from Seattle to Philadelphia. So I can't resist.
I think we should probably do an episode in the near future about what things we love from our travels and like how
Mm-hmm.
we fit them into our home. And I
Yeah.
bet we both have some pretty crazy stories of like how we got them home in the first place.
Unfortunately, yes. Niche. But, and also like of damaging something, you know,
Yeah.
but it happens to the best of
Yeah, it
us.
truly does. Truly.
But I have a tangent I could go on, but we'll save that for another episode.
Okay.
I think it's a good
Okay.
topic. All right. So for me, would you rather have an unlimited budget for one room only or a modest budget for your whole house?
I think I'm going to need to say a modest budget for my whole house because I also think I could treat that as an exercise of like really digging into my capabilities around marketplace. I am nothing if not resourceful and a great negotiator. So I think it's going to be a smaller budget and I guarantee you that I can come out with some things that feel like exactly what I wanted.
And honestly, if you have the time to do it, you can always come out probably with better things.
Totally.
More expensive does not always mean better. We
No.
see it all the time in the industry, actually, from everything from furniture to home goods to, you know, clothes.
Yeah. And honestly, the more I get into the estate sale circuit and the antique game, I realize how well made so many things are, especially furniture from back in the days. And I love things that have some history and a little bit of wear and tear, some patina. But 1000%, I will always go with the smaller budget for my whole house.
Would do the same for sure. Like you have to get crafty and you need to make it feel like you anyway. And like the found objects, the curation, all of that is part of what makes it fun too.
100%.
It wouldn't be fun to have an unlimited budget. That's why super rich people aren't always that much happier.
Exactly. You need a little bit of a challenge. You need product that you love.
Got to work those muscles.
100%. Okay, so would you rather live in a fully restored Victorian home or a modern, sleek house on the beach with the works?
Oh my gosh, you threw the beach in there, which is really makes it difficult. Like it's giving Malibu. Yeah. But I have to go with my Victorian home. I have to say true to myself. Like, you know, it's not going to have like that gorgeous wooden staircase. Like I need the crown molding. I love that stuff.
You need your ceiling medallion. Yes.
Exactly. Even though I would love to live at the beach.
I know. I agree with you. I think there was a phase in my life where I would have chosen the sleek beach house with the bells and whistles. But in my adult era, I think I'm going to go with the restored Victorian home.
Exactly. And I know my sister would pick the modern home on the beach, so I could just visit.
The best of both worlds.
Exactly. You know, somebody would pick that.
You'll get to visit that house regardless.
And I won't have to do any of the maintenance.
Of course.
Okay. Would you rather decorate in one style forever or change your whole home every single year?
I think I would change my whole home every single year.
Yes.
I think I would. And it would be hard work, but it is hard work that I'm willing to do because I mean, we've spent the theme of this episode is about how your taste evolves over time. It sounds like I could not live in the same style with nothing changed for my entire life. I need evolution. I need excitement and I need to showcase all of my estate sale finds.
Yeah. And also functionality is so important. Like there's no way a certain home decor style will be functional for your entire life and for your different phases of life or where you're at. So I'm a firm believer. Like I love pieces that have form and function, something that feels like it's designed in a way to also make your life easier. So I think that's really important. There's so many like superfluous things out there. We can't be filling our home with junk. It needs to have like another use. And so I definitely think like redoing it every year is something that is going to have to get done.
Yeah. You know
There's
what?
just no
it's
way.
Hard work, but
it's hard work, but someone's got to do it. And I guess it would be us.
It's going to be us. Okay. So would you rather, and you can only do either or, okay, have a gorgeous patio to entertain with the works, like the grill of your dreams, et cetera, or the pool area of your dreams to entertain pool parties and like the bells and whistles?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you started out with like, you have to choose one or the other.
I know.
That's you knew you thought I was going to cheat.
I was like, it's hard to choose. This is a good one.
This is a good one, but I'm gonna have to go patio. I was a lifeguard growing up, so I'm used to pool maintenance in that I don't really ever want to do it again. It's like a friend with a boat. Like I need a friend with a
Yeah.
pool. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the waiting list for like a pool club.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I actually want to have my own pool.
The maintenance of a pool is daunting.
Yeah.
You're also such a cook that like I think you would get way more use out of the kitchen area and like a bells and whistles patio.
I do hibachi on my Blackstone for my friends when they come over on my back deck, and I literally like have a hat and everything.
Do you have the water gun full of sake?
No, but I've been like thinking about getting it. Like I was flipping zucchini into people's mouths. I built the little choo-choo train.
Yeah.
Like
summer's coming.
Yes. Nothing's stopping me. It's like Mike's picture of me on his phone now. Like when I call, it's like me like in hibachi gear. But yeah, I just love to entertain. I love to host. So patio it is. What about you?
I think I would also do the patio because I do love to entertain. I think one thing that my partner and I have been discussing as we've started kind of looking at houses and we're kind of understanding what we want, what we don't want, what we like, what we don't like. And anytime like a pool comes up, both of us are just kind of like, I don't know, this seems like a lot of work and it just might be more than what I'm willing to bargain for, the pool maintenance. And it's so much fun to build a patio and especially, the patio furniture. I used to work for a couple of outdoor brands.
Oh, yeah.
I love outdoor furniture. I think the outdoor furniture industry is evolving quickly from a material standpoint and a sustainability standpoint that there's so many great options that I think I would have so much fun picking out my patio furniture that I have to go with the tricked out patio.
Yeah, I think if I lived in Florida, like my answer might change a bit just because it's like so hot and you can use your pool like all year round.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of maintenance for 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say.
That's such a great point.
Okay, what's my next one? Would you rather have the perfect kitchen or the perfect bedroom?
I think I have to have the perfect bedroom because I'm really into my sleep hygiene and I love sleep and I love my bed. Obviously, I have a canopy coming. Can't wait. And a bedroom is just really where I personally unwind. It's where I journal. It's where I just relax. I have my own little personal turn down service that I do for myself every single night that it's become a ritual and it's a ritual that's very important to me. And so I would have to go with the bedroom. What about you?
I've yapped about my kitchen and hosting so much. I'm going to have to go kitchen. It's an easy one for me, but I do like love the bedroom, like maintenance, making sure it's like comfortable and serene.
So important.
I have an avocado mattress and I'm genuinely obsessed with
Do
it.
we love the avocado mattress?
Love with like capital LOVE. We are obsessed with it. It was like our most expensive purchase when we moved to Seattle, but like it was worth every penny. Still love it just as much as the day we bought it, which was in 2021. Okay. Like worn extremely well. Like, and obviously it's like 100% sustainable, all natural fibers. It's amazing. It is 1,000 pounds is what I will say though. Okay. It's so heavy. Okay. Like rotating it, we're like.
Are there springs or is it fully like foam or?
It's fully like, it's like Princess and the Pea, layers and layers of natural fiber.
Okay. Talk about an industry or a product category that is evolving at the speed of light is the mattress industry.
I did a lot of mattresses at Zulily, and there's also some monopoly kind of action going on. Like Serta Simmons owns like Tuft and Needle, and like so the smaller brands like an Avocado, like it's really one that has it's still like actually delivering the best for its customers. I think I'm just obsessed with it.
I love that.
So there's definitely some like big conglomerates in mattress too. Yeah, I mean the same way everyone's like every strip mall has a mattress firm. Why? Like they can't really be selling that volume of mattresses, but I just think it's like a little pyramid schemey. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe we'll dig in further in a future pod.
People are like, mattresses, get out of here. No, we promise we won't. But if you have questions, drop a comment.
Drop a comment. We're happy to answer.
Yeah, let me know.
That's a wrap on our first episode of The Terrace. Thank you so much for pulling up a chair with us.
We are so excited for what this podcast can become, and we've wanted to do it for so long. It feels surreal that it's finally here.
Really does. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend that you know will love it too. That really is the best thing you can do for us right now.
And give us a follow at @thestudio_terrace and drop a comment with all of your answers to the Would You Rather and also any Would You Rathers you think we should answer on our next pod.
And we will see you back on the terrace very soon.
Don't forget the wine.